my wife and I are massive fans of what you guys are doing, especially when we were over in Reykjavik. I think it was in, oh God, I think it must be 2.5, 3 years ago now. I surprised her with a trip over there for her birthday, and it's at the back end of November. And so we were in the whiskey bars, including the Dylan's Whiskey Bar.
Yeah, your bar, right?
Yeah, what a lovely name. Awesome name. It's just such a lovely bar as well. We spent a lot of time in there. And they had the little barrel of yours on the back bar. And so we tried a lot of it. And we absolutely loved it. So no, it's always stuck with us from that trip.
Glad to hear. I mean, it's been a long journey, and you were probably there, 2.5 years ago. That was probably one of our earlier batches.
Yeah, I think it was actually. So I'm pretty sure they'd only just got it in. And so yeah, we thought, anything new, we always want to try, and then enjoyed it a lot.
It's always challenging being a new distillery and bringing out a new whiskey and
I bet.
Discovering the taste and what it should taste like, and then you're like, you like it, but do other people like it?
That's it. I'm guessing it must be quite scary actually when you get to that point.
Definitely, quite scary. But it's what we do in Emmerich. It's sort of our motto. You can actually see it in the bottle. In our emblem, the runes there, they spell out a saying which is in Icelandic, "Hver vegur heiman vegurinn heim."
Okay.
Which basically translates to the road away from home is the road home.
All right, that's very nice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's what we're doing. I mean, we're the spirit of exploring and not really knowing where we're going to end up with our whiskey, but knowing that it's going to be our whiskey and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. It's a typical newbie mistakes when taking videos.
It's all good.
Yeah. So this is our tasting bar. So this is a new renovated space, which used to be our packaging / office / everything.
Wow.
But we moved it to a little bit larger space for that, just in the room next to this one, or adjoining this one actually. So we turned this into more of a barrel hall / tasting room with a little bit of lounge area and processing for barrels and everything.
Brilliant.
So, and then we go into the distillery.
Is that for world domination, the map?
Yeah, working on it. So, this is our very raw and uncut distillery.
That's so cool.
There's just IPCs everywhere, which we are gladly using as cheap fermentation tanks.
Yeah.
This is our mill over here. And this is the Icelandic barley.
Superb.
And this is basically 100% Icelandic barley, which is the core of everything that we do. We get it milled up in our mill, just like a rough twist.
Yeah.
And then we have a mash tank over there. Pretty raw machinery, which is a old refurbished dairy tank actually.
Okay.
And here we do a mashing with grain in, very vigorous mashing, which we don't actually separate the barley. So what we get in fermentation, we get barley in while we are fermenting. So you can see in our tanks here.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
They got layers. This is a little bit more old school, like they did in 1700s. It's a little bit harder in processing, but gives us a lot more flavor. So then we transfer to our strip stills, which are actually old dairy tanks too, which we turned into distilling equipment. And here we're getting this excellent quality low wine.
Ooh.
Thick and viscous and a lot of oils in it. I wish you could smell it through the Skype conference.
One day.
And then we got an Arnold Holstein for our spirit still. And this is a 300 litre still. We're distilling right in the tail end now.
Brilliant. That's a beautiful still.
That's about the gist of what we have in here. So there you see Greg, our head distiller, hard at work.
Excellent.
And then this is our latest expansion. And this is our warehouse / packaging / everything.
Brilliant.
And we have a little bit of top rack filled with barrels, glass bottles, shipments going out, miniature bottlings, and bottling facilities, and everything that you need to run a distillery, really. Because we need really everything, because we're grain to glass, so we're doing everything from the ground up, and it requires a lot of equipment and everything. And there's Eva, our distillery manager, and Edla doing a little bit of packaging.
Excellent.
So let's head back to the barrel hole.
Yeah. That's a really cool distillery, by the way. I love how everything's so well connected.
Thank you. And it is built, ground up. So we started in the distillery space as well. We started in just one corner there with our test stills, which we built and hammered together out of copper piping and ran our first experimental batches through that.
Wow.
So we started there, and then we grew from there and took a little bit more space, and then we took a little bit more space, and then we were engineering our stills to do a little bit more efficiency and a little bit more volume each time. And through that, we reached the point where we're distilling in some sort of volume where we can't really finish all the samples ourselves.
That's a good place to be. That's a really good place to be. How much volume are you going to be kind of getting into market when the single malt launches?
So, single malt this year, that's going to be 2 barrels.
Wow, a really small batch.
Yeah, it's so that was our first years, and with our processes, we're doing single barrel bottlings with both our young malt and our single malt, at least the first years. Mm-hmm. And the first year, there was lower volumes than this year, because we've been bootstrapping the business up instead of like buying expensive stills for hundreds of millions, and getting some seed capital for that. We decided we want to keep it in the family. Mm-hmm. We want to fund it with the revenue from the business and grow slowly but steadily.
That's
and
good.
Aim for building a business for the next hundreds of years, for generations to come.
That's a nice way of approaching it.
This is a long journey, but in the first steps, it's first year we had a few young malt barrels. So actually, those 2 young malt barrels, which we bottled in the end of 2013, they are used now for our first single malt casks.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
No, it's end of 2014. Sorry, not 13.
Right.
So those are our own version of used casks, which we use for our single malt, to get a more subtle, nuanced aging and less of the woody notes.
Ah, very cool. That's a nice way of doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's quite smart as well, because you then don't have to kind of keep having input from others as well. Like you say, just keep everything within the family and within the business. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and for the recipe too, it's we're making Icelandic whiskey. We're keeping the tradition of what whiskey is, what Scotch is, what Irish whiskey is, what bourbon is. Yeah. And we look a lot to the Scottish when we started and how we're gonna do it. but we didn't look too closely because we didn't just want to make like an average Scotch in Iceland. We want to make great Icelandic whiskey, and as such, we through our experimentation and our different batches and recipes, we develop the taste that we like, that our family likes, that our friends like, that other Icelanders like, and sort of crowdsources the recipe of what Icelandic whiskey should be and what the Icelandic barley should give us in a whiskey.
Yeah.
And as a result, we get a very unique whiskey, which is one of a kind, if I say so myself. As most whiskeys are, but often they're more or less the same.
Yes. It's definitely unique, and I think it's gonna be quite interesting when consumers finally get their hands on it. To actually kind of try something that is very different, very special. Are you selling it just in Iceland at the start, or are you going to UK, US, or whereabouts?
So our young malt, which we received a couple of bottles of, the smoked one and the standard one.
Yeah.
That is actually already out there. So we're exporting that in about 14 countries right now.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, so I meant the single malt. Is that just going to be Iceland, or?
So single malt it's going to be Iceland, but it's also going to be, we reserved a few cases for our distributors around the world.
Ah, good.
So you'll see a few cases pop up every here and there.
Excellent.
But it's a very low volume the first year, but we'll have 10 more casks next year, so it's not that long of a wait.
Yeah.
It's at least shorter than the first 3 years.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's a nice little tease though, isn't it? Because people will see it and they'll think, oh, actually, I need to get my hands on this. Then they'll wait and then they'll get it the next year.
Yeah,
that's good.
And we have a lot of dedicated fans and followers which have been drinking Floki since barrel 1 or so.
Yeah.
And always more and more people like discovering Floki and discovering the taste of our young malt as something that they've been looking for in whiskey, but they haven't been able to find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So especially well received by Americans with their propensity for taste of bourbon, because it has a hint of that, but still has the Scotch feeling.
Yeah. Well, no, it definitely has that. I would have thought they'd have been because they normally get freaked out by new stuff. Yeah, I thought they'd have been a little bit more conservative. But, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So I guess in say 5 years, will you be having like huge production runs? Well, not huge, but moving from 2 barrels to 10 to 100, or is it slowly?
I think it's more slowly. I mean, we're not going to take a huge leap from like currently we're about 100,000 liters or so.
Right.
So we might double that or triple even, but we're not gonna 10 times multiply the production.
Sure.
So I mean that would require
a new distillery,
construction of our processes and our distillery and everything. So we want to keep with the flavor we got and slowly build on that and grow as a distillery and hopefully bring Iceland to the map as a whiskey making nation.
Absolutely, and firstly it's the right time to do it, and it's definitely I'm not just saying it because we're talking, but I think it really is the right product for it as well, because it's just really nicely put together and has been right from that very first batch that I tried. Oh, sorry, my cat's all over me. Right from that very first batch I tried a few years ago, it's always had something about it. It's had character. It's had something interesting and something different to what else was available. So yeah, no, I think it's going to be a huge success.
Thank you, and we look forward to it. It's been a long journey, and there's a lot of challenges, but it's a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah. And
as I said, we have our products on the market, but it's we're reaching the point where it starts getting really fun.
Oh yeah. God, that's going to be crazy, and it must be quite incredibly exciting actually, taking it from the very beginning and now getting to that point where the young mature stuff is going out. And are you keeping stock for older releases as well?
We are a little bit, but we would rather than take one of the casks now that is going to be 3 years old and keep that for 12-year-old. We'd rather offer both of them.
Mm.
And then next year we have, even more stock available because we have the cash flow available to make more and produce more and build more on a business.
Yeah.
Let's say in 9 years we might not have any 12-year-olds, but in 10 years we might have 20 casks of 12-year-olds instead of just one.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. No, that's a smart move.
But we have, always like 1 or 2 casks set aside, the ones that were either deemed not ready or a little bit different or a little bit special. So I have one set up for my 50th birthday.
Amazing. Oh, that's incredible.
24-year-old then, but I hope it's going to be good by then.
Yeah. Oh, that would be superb. That's a really nice thing to do, actually. So there's a distillery in Ontario, Canada, called the Dillon's Distillery. Now, I don't just look for things called Dillon, by the way, but we just kind of, I found them when, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was looking for Canadian whiskey, doing some research, and found these guys. And just so happened, my wife surprised me with a trip to Canada that year. And so we went and saw them. And Jeff Dillon, the founder, he's done a very similar thing. He's kept I think it's I can't remember if it's the first cask or the second cask. He's kept, and he's going to just keep it for as long as he can, really. And he'll take one bottle out every year or something like that. And he's also got a second one, which he got everyone at his wedding to sign the cask. And so it's his wedding cask. And so he's got it in the distillery with lovely messages from all his friends and family. And I think those kind of stories are really, really cool. Because you don't really get that in, in the Scotch stuff. No, because they're all so big now. You just don't get any of those stories.
And a lot of the family aspect has disappeared from that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh, that all sounds like it's going really well. I actually bumped into someone I think you might know.
Oh yeah, he's called Jakob.
Jakob, that's it. Yes. Lovely, lovely man. Actually, we've known each other about 4 years now, and we were actually on the opposing sides for an Ardbeg event where we played peat football, which is brutal. Like playing football on the peat bogs of Scotland. It's so painful. But we kind of stayed in touch after that because he was a really good bloke. And he was telling me that he's been sampling all of your stuff as well and writing notes and everything. And he was incredibly excited about your new products and can't wait to finally have it all in market and all of that kind of stuff. He was actually really excited. It was quite crazy, actually. But
he wrote an article about us the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read it, but it's on his whiskey blog site.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, no.
Yeah, he even got it translated to English, so it's easy to read.
Nicely done. Very good. He's a very big fan. So, just thought I'd pass that on because I bumped into him. I can't remember where I was actually, but we had a very quick chat. And he was very excited. But, that all sounds absolutely brilliant. And thank you so much for taking me on the walking tour of the distillery. It's very, very cool.
Now you have an excellent excuse to come back to Iceland.
I will always want to come back to Iceland. I'm hoping.